Good evening and welcome to the Shadows of Drakkenheim. My name is Monty Martin, and this is the Dungeon Dudes weekly Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition live stream campaign. I will be running the game this evening as Dungeon Master.
And my name's Kelly McLaughlin, playing Wilhelm Wolfsbane, the human swashbuckler rogue. And we're joined today by our good friends.
Jill Denitis, playing Rudy Whitaker, the shifter Eldritch Knight.
And Joe O'Gorman playing Wrath, the Aasimar, Pact of the Tome, Warlock of the Great Old One.
That is a mouthful. Thank you for joining us once again. If you are just tuning in for the very first time, Kelly and I post new videos every Thursday on our YouTube channel, where we cover everything Dungeons & Dragons, including advice for players and guides for Dungeon Masters. Check it all out at youtube.com/dungeondudes.
You can also join us on Tuesday nights when we record the campaign live on Twitch. Check us out from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Time at twitch.tv/dungeon_dudes. You can also watch the video episodes of the show on YouTube.
Of course, don't forget to take a look at the links below for your Teespring store, where you can check out all your favorite Dungeon Dudes merch. Favorites like Yes, 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 and keep an eye out for some new ones, hopefully coming out soon. But you can check out bit.ly/Dungeon Dudes merch.
We're very pleased to announce that tonight's episode has been sponsored by our great friends at Hero Forge. They are in the midst of a awesome Kickstarter campaign for Hero Forge 2.0, which will allow you to order and design custom miniatures 3D printed for your tabletop role-playing games. You can use their web-based tools to fully customize your character's appearance, and new in the Kickstarter, you can add color to it and have that color 3D printed into the miniature and sent to you, or you can have Hero Forge's team professionally hand paint your miniature for you. So if you want to get a really special mini for your next D&D campaign, check out heroforge.com and use the discount code DungeonDudes to save $5 off your first physical miniature. And be sure to check them out on Kickstarter. The full color miniatures are coming as soon as that goes into fulfillment. They are looking really sweet.
Yeah, and they're killing it. Yes.
With that, let's see what lurks in the shadows.
Drakkenheim is no more. For 15 years, we foolishly believed the madness and mayhem of that crumbling city was confined to the ruins. We were wrong. Insidious horrors have crept out of the shadow of Drakkenheim into a world unprepared for such nightmares. Tales of strange magic, swirling haze, and unspeakable terrors echo through the villages and towns surrounding that accursed place. Now, the Dusk Wardens, a new band of heroes, are tasked with driving out the seeping tendrils of the spreading darkness before it takes root.
Deep in the shadows, far from the city of Drakkenheim, in the dangerous depths of Ochtenwald Forest, not far from a forest village near Tierhaven, called Tierhaven, we follow along our three new heroes. Having investigated an incident at the old Herlick farm, they have tracked a monstrous creature through the western reaches of the forest, deep along a brook, shot through with signs of octarine light and flecks of a strange material one of their number recognizes as delirium. They have tracked this beast, its invisible body leaving massive footprints behind as they follow it through the woods to a large cave just off the stream. It is deep at dusk. The sun is going down and just the last dim of light shines through over the cloud, but through the forest it has already become dark.
Oh no.
The sounds of various nighttime animals, though, are nowhere to be heard in this part of the forest. The only sound, the wind rustling through the trees and the flowing stream some few hundred feet away. What will you do?
If I remember correctly, Wrath, you cast invisibility on us.
Correct.
And you and I are perched. You're off to the side of the cave mouth. I've climbed up above the cave mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And Rudy's gonna try to lure the creature out.
Yep.
And
Is
so,
that-
this is your plan.
I believe so, unless we're changing it.
Nope.
This is
Going straight in.
Rudy's gonna make a bunch of noise.
Now, before we do this, keep in mind, this beast might have the capability of speech. It may be able to answer some questions about what has happened here and at this farm. Perhaps it's even somebody who lived on that farm.
Let's let Rudy do some of the talking. And
Give us the element of surprise.
if need be, we can jump into action.
I'll do my best, but
Just
if it starts getting aggressive, I'm gonna go in.
and we'll be right there behind you.
Okay. As Wilhelm and Wrath disappear into the night invisibly and take up their positions above the cave and to the side, where are you sending your animal companions?
Bruce decides to mingle on the other side of the cave. He's going to actually he's going to just chill with no, he's going to go with Rudy.
Okay.
He's going to be circling around your legs.
Okay. Houdini will just be with me, kind of perched on my shoulder.
Okay. You step towards the cave. Yeah?
Yes. And I start banging my on kind of like the plates of armor that I have along my arm, just to like make a little bit of noise.
Okay. The clanging of metal against metal resounds through the woods as you walk towards the cave. A awful stench permeates through the air, wafting out from the mouth of the cave like an obese giant breathing its foul breath in your face.
I can feel it in my face.
It's kind of warm, the air coming up from the cave. It almost comes forth like a vile belch.
Hello in there. Welcome to Tearhaven. Who are you?
You can hear a reply that comes as the rattling of chains.
Well, it sounds like you got yourself tied up there. Do you need a little bit of help?
You hear a low voice that says,
Go away!
Well, I've come all this way to see what's what, and I've heard some things about, big footprints around. I just want to see if there's anything I could do to help you out.
Not saying it again! Go away!
you hear this sound that comes at the tail end of it. This growling. It doesn't sound like it's coming from the voice. Whatever's making that voice, it's like this growling that turns into a screech.
Can I recognize it as something that's hurt? Or something that's in pain?
Make a perception check.
9.
Whatever it is, it's not happy.
And is it behind in the cave?
It's coming from the cave.
Whoa. That there sounds
As
like
you look in with your dark vision, you can see that the cave descends sharply in a ramp downward. So, standing outside the mouth of the cave You don't quite have vision right down to the bottom of where the ramp is. From the cave, if you approach closer towards the cave's mouth itself, you may be able to see further in.
It sounds like someone's not having a great time in there. Are you sure you don't want me to come in and take a look?
There's no reply. Save for the sound of a dragging chain and heavy clawed footprints coming up the cave.
Coming up.
Yeah.
And
There's
I don't
another
see anything.
screech.
Now, mister, I'm gonna have to take a look in there. It sounds like someone's not having a great time, and I'm Rudy. I'm the sheriff of this place. So it's my duty to check it out and make sure no one's hurt.
As you speak, you hear this. The footprints turn into a thumping. Whatever it is breaking into a sprint and is barreling up along the ramp towards you. Pretty quickly. Roll for initiative.
Oh
How
boy.
you doing there, Rudy?
All right.
Nuts.
Ah, nuts.
Ah, nuts. Oh, no.
You got this, Rudy. It's just important you survive the initial mauling, and then we'll be there to help you.
I've been through worse.
Okay. Rudy,
20.
20.
You got this. You're fine. You got this alone.
Wilhelm?
11.
And 8.
Classic.
Okay. Wrath is last. Okay. So, Rudy, as you speak, barreling towards you is a massive, shaggy creature covered in fur and feathers. And it screeches out from a beak-like mouth. Part down the side of its face are several avian eyes and an overall avian face, but it has the body of some sort of ursine creature rippling through as patches of fur and feathers fall out of it, and its hide is shook through with, instead of grays and blacks that you would or whites that you'd expect from an owl or a bear, it is shook through with purple, blue, and green in its coloration, and its massive hook-like beak is this bright orange yellow, and it is frothing at the mouth, and as it opens its beak, you can see all of these razor-sharp teeth incongruent with the beak inside. It lunges up, bearing talon-like claws as it rears back towards you, and as it does so, you can see that its rib cage is exposed and its intestines are trailing out down behind it as it comes forward towards you.
Well, see, he's just hurt. He's just angry because he's hurt.
And as it rears back up, actually one of its eyes flops out and is just dangling down the side over its beak.
Do I recognize what this is?
You have seen creatures like this roaming the forest, but but not of this color, nor ones that have been slashed open like this moving around afterwards.
All right.
It is your turn.
Looks like you're a bit injured there, but if you're gonna be nasty, I'm gonna come in at you too. So settle down there, and I come in with my axes and start just kind of wailing on its face. Murmur.
You have a way with animals.
As before I do, Houdini flies into its face with the help action.
Oh,
to
it's
distract
big.
it. Oh. Woo. So I'm gonna take advantage on that first go. 19?
That is a hit. Your axe digs deeply into its guts, and several organs start flopping out of it.
7 damage.
Okay.
Another axe comes down. Oh, 10.
That is a miss, I'm afraid. It bounces off of it. And as it does so, you can see that the blood that is coming off of it as you batter into it is well coagulated.
Oh.
Like it's rotted blood in its veins.
I got some interesting liquids coming out of this here bear. 26 to hit with my
That is a hit
axe.
for sure. Yeah.
It appears that she's talking to no one.
11 damage.
Nice.
Great.
Anything else?
I'm not based with it, am I? Take a step back, maybe one step back, or maybe I am based with it. No, it's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
I'm good.
You would need to be
I'll
too.
stay there,
Okay.
ready my axes.
Howling out and gurgling in its throat, it rears back and bites and claws at you with its beak and claws,
Try.
getting a 19 to hit and a 16 to hit.
Use shield.
A shimmering beam of light blocks the impending attack as they fall down upon you.
Nice.
Wrath.
Or,
Your last, Wilhelm.
Awesome. Wilhelm invisibly leaps, so nobody can see his dramatic leap, from the top of the cave onto the owl bear, sword first.
Nice. So you definitely have advantage from the leap. Do you want to leap on and try to stay onto its back?
What I'm going to do is I'm going to leap onto it, stab the rapier down into it, and then push off and back. So
Okay.
that I use the momentum of the jump to stab
Okay.
and push.
Roll the hit.
Those are both 18s plus 7, so I probably...
Your blade drives deep down, coming in just around the back of its spine where it connects to its head.
And I'm going to use my sneak attack.
Nice.
sneak attack.
Yeah, sneaky.
15 damage.
Very good.
And then I push back off of it, landing off to the side on these rocks here. And I'm going to use my bonus action to hide from the beast.
Okay. Make a stealth check.
With advantage because I'm invisible.
You're no longer invisible
Oh,
because
right.
the invisibility ends after you make an attack.
So, yes, I try to kind of scurry into these rocks here.
Cool.
Disappear. Getting a 22.
Okay. Scurry away. Wrath, we are over to you.
I emerge from the darkness and shoot an eldritch blast at this animal, and I don't like owls, except Houdini.
Good cover. Good cover.
Houdini's just like, woo-hoo.
I said the except. A 17 to hit
Yes.
for 10 damage, and then in this moment, Bruce climbs up the back of Rudy and jumps in the face of the owlbear to try to distract it. And I get a 20 to hit for 7 damage.
Stumbling as your attacks land on it, chunks of its flesh are sent flying off of its body, and it looks like there might be something writhing around inside it, but it continues forward.
And can I telepathically communicate with the creature? And I want to say, be still or you will die.
As you reach out into
to contact it telepathically. Give me an insight check.
No big deal. +1. 9.
There's an emptiness in this creature's mind.
Uh-oh.
The whatever the beast itself is, there's barely any mind there.
I've encountered this before. Only mostly in plants.
Rudy, it is your turn.
I continue to take some stabs at it with my axes. Try the red dice this time. And Houdini, again, consistently flying in his face. 24. 23 to hit.
That is a hit.
10 damage.
Bam.
It collapses in a heap, the body onto the ground. And immediately its flesh begins to bubble up, as if something is trying to break its way out of its body.
I continue to hit. Did I see what was happening in its...
Something's writhing around underneath its flesh.
Oh yeah, I'm going for that. I'm
Okay.
like, I've seen this before. I ain't taking any chances this time. 26 to hit.
A hit.
Die.
Die.
14. Oh, sorry. No. 11 damage.
Okay. Anything else?
Got my last one.
Okay.
15 to hit.
The axe comes down and chops into the corpse, but whatever was underneath it, you don't connect with. It's still writhing around. Would you like to do anything else?
Uh-oh.
I'm staying with it, just kind of
Okay.
keeping an eye on it.
The hole bursts forth from where it was, and this fleshy, luminescent, translucent jellyfish with barbed tentacles pulls its way out of the body of the creature and regards all of you with its eye stalk-like antenna. And as it does so, it bursts with light and a wave of fear as it casts the fear spell upon. I think I can't get everyone in the cone because you've all spread out. Or are you all in different directions?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
way over here. I don't know if you can I'm like over here. Wilhelm's over there. and
One,
then
I'm in
Rudy's-
front of it.
Okay, it's going to aim the cone towards Rudy and Wrath. So the two of you can make wisdom saving throws.
I'm hidden.
The rocks.
Yeah,
are
because it
up.
can't see you either. Yeah,
15.
15.
Also 15.
You both save.
Oh,
nuts.
darn.
Okay. Seeing both of you unperturbed, it rips its way out of the body and flies up into the air. A total of 20 feet in the air.
Excuse you.
You ain't getting away that easy.
We now go to Wilhelm.
I emerge from my rocky hole and pull out my crossbow and line it up with my good eye. Because I'm hidden from it, do I gain advantage?
Yes, you do.
Oh, baby.
Get him.
I'm rolling doubles.
You're doubles again.
14.
14, that is a hit.
Wonderful.
Yes.
I'm going to use sneak attack again. $11 damage.
Nice.
And I'm going to fire a second crossbow shot at it. This time without advantage, I assume. 16. Well,
Also a hit,
Also
yeah.
hit.
14 did it before.
yep. Oh man, that's going to be 5 damage.
Okay.
And then I move back near Rudy.
Okay.
Good job, Willow.
Thank you.
The shots connected. Something about this creature's magical nature. It seems like it resisted such mundane weapons.
Well, I'm not a fan of that.
Wrath, it is your turn.
Yes, Bruce. We must kill the jellyfish. Bruce loves anything that moves and is shiny. That's just in his nature. So he, on wings of shadows, flies up towards this creature and assists.
You thought some cats could jump. But this cat can
This
jump.
cat can jump. And I get a 23 to hit for 8 damage.
Okay.
And I take a second shot, hoping to, with my left hand, doing 11 damage.
Okay. The 2 shots ring out on the fleeing creature, and it is battered as the full magical force collides with it, and it whimpers audibly like this sort of noise. But and falters in its flight, but continues to move forward, move
Jellyfish.
into the air with much more speed and intent.
Get him, Bruce.
We go now to Rudy.
How far away is it now?
It is 40 feet in the air.
I think Houdini can fly 60 feet, so send Houdini up. Get up there, Houdini. Get in its face. And I'm going to, seeing that just regular damage hit it, I'm going to hit it with a firebolt.
Okay.
Yeah.
My crossbow can't do that.
Oh, I get it. 23 to hit.
That is a hit.
Nice.
13 damage.
Okay. The flames lick into it, and it looks like, for a moment, like the creature might resist the flames, but eventually it succumbs to them, and this charred, it shrivels up charred like a overcooked, overcooked seafood, and falls to the earth and into a pile of dust.
Now that's how you cook a turkey.
Yeah. Nice
That-
shot.
That wasn't a turkey.
Close enough. It flew.
Bruce is disappointed he can't eat it now.
What was that? That we've heard of owl bears before, but we've never seen anything like this.
This is something strange, and I mean, it's, to be honest, not the strangest thing I've seen today, so.
I that wasn't the creature we were talking to, was it?
I don't know.
Was that the creature that disappeared earlier?
I'm gonna call into the cave. Excuse me, sir or madam. I do believe your pet is deceased. I'm sorry, my condolences. Do you require any assistance?
Such polite.
No reply comes.
We mean you no harm. We're inquiring about a farm. There's been a few issues. This is going nowhere.
I start walking into the cave.
Whoa, Raph.
Da-da-da-da-da.
Raph, we
What's
saw
in
that
there?
this was invisible before. Can you see it?
Wrath rule number 1. Always have a plan of attack. You don't just go marching in there.
I have a plan.
What?
We have to find out what's in there.
This is true, but how can we see it?
Well, come on, keep up.
Rule number 3, never underestimate your foe. This
I'm-
could be a trap.
I'm walking into the cave.
Oh, God.
We gotta support him. He's here to help us out.
I mean, he's a newcomer to this town. If he goes missing, nobody's really going to notice.
You said that quite loudly. I'll be fine, Wilhelm.
We've talked
I said
about
the quiet part loud and the loud part quiet.
everyone who joins us at Tierhaven is family. We need to take care of him.
I know.
Just like he's family, just like I took care of you when you showed up in my barn.
There's a thing that might be wounded in a cave. I think we can handle it. I think Bruce can handle it.
Well, I'm not going to
Like
let
cat?
you go in there alone. One of the most important rules, rules number 47, which actually makes it the 47th most important rule. Not that close to the top. Teamwork is the key to achieving the unachievable. So if we're going to tackle this cave, then I guess it's best we do it together.
Your rules are getting in the way of the investigation.
He's actually on your side on this, so.
I'm
Yes, but you're holding me up.
I'm saying I'm coming with you, sir.
I'm gonna brush off his hand and walk into the cave.
All right, Rudy, let's go.
Let's do it.
Okay. You sally forth into the cavern. Set change.
Well, we do the set change. I still think this is a bad idea, Sir Raphael.
Yes. As someone with no depth perception, I can understand how scary a cave can be.
I am an expert marksman, even without my eye.
How did you lose that eye, by the way?
A story for another day, perhaps. I just met you this morning.
You didn't catch it on a twig or poke yourself in the eye with that crossbow?
I mean, he has done that before, but that's not the reason for him losing his eye.
Oh, really? Do share, Rudy.
Let me tell you, this one time with my son, Ari, when they were playing in the forest together.
That was one time.
Oh, it brings me tear to my eye every time I think about it.
Will it bring a tear to your eye as well, Wilhelm?
This is insulting.
They said as they were going into the scary cave.
We banter loudly.
I mean, he already knows we're here. It's not like we have the element of surprise. I've vocalized that we'd like to help him. I see no reason that he be concerned.
Okay, I have an idea.
I'm listening.
I'm going to start to mimic the voice of the monster that was telling Rudy to go away.
Like a monster voice?
The owl voice.
Okay.
As we walk into the cave, I'm going to proclaim quite loudly and confidently, I made the bad lady go away.
Okay. As you walk down into the cave,
You don't see.
it descends for a little bit of a snaking tunnel for about 40 feet before opening up into a large cavern. And while the incline was not steep by any means, you are now quite a little bit ways underground. The cavern opens up to a height of perhaps no more than 10 feet at its highest, though. Very sharply overhead. The stalactites? I always get my mites and
Stalactites
Stabby
are
from the
tight to
top?
the ceiling.
stalactites hanging down.
Stalagmites might get there someday.
Might get, yes. It opens up and you can see that that the cavern snakes off to the south, where a rickety doorway is filling the passageway there. Elsewhere in this room, there are piles of rocks and rubble and bales of hay and other fur that have formed a large nest. The nest looks very disused, and within it are cracked eggshells and bits of feathers of gray, white, and brown, and more recently these newer feathers of blue, purple, and pink. In the middle of the chamber are some manacles and what looks like to be a large collar that has been opened up. This collar ostensibly would have been large enough to bind the creature that was out there before. There is a whistling through this room coming from the northwest, where the whole room kind of elevates back up towards the northwest, but then descends down to the south, where the rickety gate is.
I want to approach the collar, and I want to check to see if it's been broken or released. Like, has it been opened or has it been damaged?
It's been released. Give me a perception check, though.
20.
The inside of it is caked with this blood, and whatever was attached to this collar might have died in it.
I have a feeling that creature that we murdered out front was dead when we found it.
Was it the guts strewn everywhere that gave it away?
Well, that thing writhing around in it.
I think the thing writhing around in it animated it back to life.
I concur. What's our next move?
There could be other things like it.
So be ready.
Those
what you're saying?
manacles. I want to check those out.
What's the lighting down here like?
There is none whatsoever.
There's one problem. I can't see.
Do you
Yeah,
need me to
yeah,
hold
we-
your hand
we
as
kinda-
I guide you around?
We
Is-
know that.
Is lighting a torch ill-advised?
Did someone poke your other eye? Is
It-
that what happened?
It's just dark in here. Why does it always have to be about the eye?
Raph, he can't see in the dark like us.
I apologize.
Again, I just met you this morning and you're already insulting my eye. Is this any way to greet somebody?
Just your one eye. I don't know about the other one.
Good sir!
Yes, Wilhelm. It's all in good fun. But
Should I
for
light-
now, we should be focused on the mission.
I am focused on the mission. Should I light a torch or is that ill-advised?
I mean, either way, I think.
Stay
you
close
either
to...
use a torch or you have to walk around a bit blind.
Stay...
Well,
I see I am not the only one.
Why am I even here? Why am I anyway?
because
Yeah.
you're helping and you're my deputy, so you got to be here. So
Aye. The irony of
Oh, the irony!
the irony of me needing to light a torch when I'm the one who relies on sneaking around.
Look, you'll get your opportunity, Wilhelm. I suggest we keep the torch off until it is quite necessary.
Then can I hold on to something like a rope or
you can hold on to my tail if you need
You
to.
can, yeah. Bruce will lead you. Bruce
Good idea.
is
Or Houdini.
a true leader amongst all walks of life, and he is the true one. He sees all and knows all.
what color is Bruce again?
He's actually more in the style of a Mancoon. This has been. I was mistaken at first. Bruce corrected me.
He's not a black cat, is he?
He's a blackish cat.
I have an issue with black cats. They're bad luck.
Oh yeah, is that a
Fairy tales.
Yeah, well,
Oh,
you're in for it
gosh.
because Bruce is a ton of bad luck.
yeah a what?
Superstition.
What I gather, though, is that Bruce is going to help Wilhelm navigate. Okay,
Bruce
so,
will.
okay,
Bruce has
Okay.
decided. He's told me that he'll help you.
okay.
That's nice of him, I suppose.
Let us continue.
It's laid down. And
Okay.
you said there was feathers and eggshells.
Mhm.
When I go up to it, can I tell what those are?
They're the feathers of the creature outside.
Hmm.
But many of the older graying brown feathers, they're much older than they several of the other feathers now that have turned purple and blue seem to have looking at them, they've got that coagulated bits of gore on their tips where they've fallen off. You can surmise perhaps that this creature changed color and then expired.
These are all from the same beast.
What is? Sorry.
These feathers.
Ah, feathers.
I believe the voice we heard earlier is still in the cave.
Should we try?
This creature that we disposed of was not capable of speech.
Could it be in the room with us right now? We're tracking an invisible creature.
You're
How are we
telling
gonna
me.
know?
Ow. I keep walking into walls. I'm not of much use investigating. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna take control of Bruce.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just gonna. I go trust fall, and I
I catch you.
Okay.
and I look through Bruce's eyes, and Bruce can detect invisibility as a tressum within 60 feet with his sight.
Yes.
Is there anything invisible in this cavern?
In this room
this room.
itself? No.
Bruce, wait, where are you going?
You're following him.
Yeah, he's pulling you around the cave, and he's.
By the way,
sniffing
that's Wrath now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so confused.
I'm gonna snap back.
Nice.
It's not here.
Heave you up. Then we need to follow down. You said there's a door in here.
There is a makeshift door has been rigged up along the southern wall of the cavern.
See, we follow it down. Keep your eyes sharp. Make sure that Bruce can tell us if. Keep your eye sharp.
It doesn't matter. I can't see.
Listen. Use your ears. Use all your other senses if you can't see with your eyes, and keep an eye out for any invisible creatures. That I'm talking to.
I'll do my best.
Okay.
That I'm talking to Wrath.
Who's going to take point?
I will take point.
Okay.
I will go in the middle so that you guys can kind of guide me along.
As my familiar, I want to instruct Bruce to keep an eye out for any invisible creatures, and if he detects one, he's going to come over and wiggle his butt in my face. Can he understand that line of... Okay. So as he goes with us, if he sees anything invisible, he's going to come and tell me with his butt in my face.
And I get Houdini just to go back into my hood and keep your ears open.
As cats often do.
Yeah, it's actually really unmistakable.
Okay.
He does it a lot.
So how will you know that it's...
I'm just going to have to trust. I'm just going to...
You'll feel it.
This will be a really, really profound butt in the face.
How do you open the gate? Do you go through the gate?
Yes.
Okay. It pulls open, almost falling to splinters. In fact, there's no real hinges that are keeping it there. It's more propped in place.
Whoops.
Bit of a clatter. And the passage winds around before opening up into an oblong chamber that splits in twain. Heading further now, once again, to the south and back up again to the north.
Are there any tracks on the ground? Or is this stone?
It is wet stone and mud. With the puddling water down here, it is very difficult to see if there's evidence of tracks, but you can look. Give me a perception check. Or survival, whichever is better for you.
And can I get Houdini to help on this as well?
Yeah.
Kind of keep an eye and see.
I want to cast guidance as you kneel down to look for tracks.
You add a D4.
Oh. Just to make sure. Oh, I got a 24.
Okay. There are regular tracks that pass through here, and as you look down, you can see there are bits of deer fur moving along this passage towards the north.
Not being able to see, what does each direction sound like if I listen very closely to each of the passages?
Give me a perception check.
I get an 8.
There's quite a lot of wind moving through here, which may indicate, and so the blustering sound of wind creates whistling all through your ears, and it's hovering around almost from every direction. It's very difficult for you to determine which way it's coming from.
Oh, that's great. Just sounds like whistling, and I can't see. We're having a good day.
I say, remember that deer that we saw earlier?
Yes.
I think it went this way. I point to the north. Or,
Just point me in the direction.
Rat, you know where we're going.
I understand.
Then we go towards the north.
Okay.
We're going this way. I don't know what you mean.
Huh?
Very difficult. Variant human seems like the optimum choice until you get into a dark cave.
This is the ultimate.
Feel like
I know the struggle. I've been there.
magical monocle that gives you dark vision or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
You just gotta wait till everything gets really loud, and then it's perfect.
Then it's just berries.
Berries.
You come around into a chamber with flickering lights from a pair of torches that have been set into this much drier, cavernous room. And in fact, the whistling is much louder here because as you look up towards the ceiling, there's a crack in the floor that extends all the way up to the ceiling, and you can see the sky just up above. And so there's just flecks of moonlight shining down into this chamber. There are a manner of barrels and crates and boxes and various bits of plunder that look like the plunder taken from various traveling caravans or traders or others that have passed through the woods, but also sacks of flour, things that you might steal from a farmhouse or a barn that have all been stacked up around in here. It's a menagerie, a collection of things that are disused, almost like someone has made a small hoard of just everyday objects and things and bits of containers that might have had food of some kind in it. There is a large crack hole in the floor, almost 20 feet wide, that descends into darkness. And here, the trail of the deer's blood ends abruptly, where there's a sliding skid mark of blood going over the precipice of the hole, down deep. On the other side of the hole, ripping apart the body of a goat, are 3 of the creatures you saw in the barn.
Oh, those.
The birds or the ones on the ground?
The stump-like creatures.
Ah, the stumps.
The ones that were a mass of eyes with a single large maw, the shape of a stump with small limbs and legs and other claw-like arms protruding apart. The 3 of them are just ripping this what remains of the carcass to pieces and stuffing the bits into their mouths. Since you have proceeded in darkness otherwise, what I'll let Rudy and Wrath, the 2 of you, give me perception checks, and if you see them before they see you, I'll give you 1 opportunity to make a stealth check to hide from them.
23.
5.
Okay, so Rudy, you see them
I would be, I guess, at the back of the pack. So
at the back of the pack. So I will have them.
I have no idea.
So
yet.
Rudy, you see them as you come around the corner. You notice them. Wrath does not, and you can now immediately make a stealth check. But Wrath, and so if you beat their stealth check, you can act in surprise, but no one else can.
10.
Okay.
And I don't get the option. I'm just strolling
Yeah,
in
because
there.
yeah. because you can't see. As you come around, the light. You finally see that, but it's all together.
They can see me in the dark before I see them.
Yeah, precisely.
light.
Yeah, they could. That actually is enough to beat their passive perception.
Yes.
So Rudy, you can act in the surprise round, but we'll have everyone roll initiative.
Five.
Good thing you got that surprise right.
Yeah.
27.
And 17.
Okay, so Wilhelm is surprised, Wrath is surprised, the creatures are surprised. So Rudy, you get to have one turn to act immediately if you'd like.
Okay. If I jump over the chasm, how far can I get?
It's roughly a 12, 15, probably, there's but one spot where it's 12 at its narrowest. With a 10-foot running start, you can jump a number of feet equal to your strength score.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go for a jump.
Could we give her like the 10 feet at the start there?
Yep.
I'd go for it.
And just
So you waste no time. You recoil back and then spring right forward.
All right. Can I make it up to this guy?
If you have the movement to do so, yes. Yep.
So, just right there, and then I start hacking at it with my double axes. Houdini follows along, pops out of my hood, woo-hoo, and gets all in its face. We're a good team. Ooh, 26.
A hit.
7 damage. Take another swing. 20 to hit. For another 7 damage. And then my final swing. Oh, critical miss.
Well, you waste no time leaping across the chasm. You bring your axes down upon this creature and cut into it deeply. Wilhelm, it is your turn. With the flickering torchlight illuminating what little is in this chamber, you are able to see them. What will you do?
I move up as much as I can. Actually, I move up to the edge of the gap, and as if I'm about to jump over it, and then I kind of screech to a stop, realizing that I don't think I can make that jump.
Okay.
And then I pull out my crossbow, and I'm going to fire it at the same creature that Rudy is fighting. So let's see what happens. 23, so that's going to be... And I'm going to use sneak attack because Rudy is next to it.
oh baby.
18 damage.
With a gurgle, the crossbow bolt lands right down. It poises itself to bite into Rudy. You land the shot right inside its mouth, and there's a gurgling noise, and it collapses in a heap.
And then I'm going to move... Let's see, that was... I move into around these rocks. Oh no. And I'm going to hide.
Okay.
Do you want me to roll stealth to hide?
Yes, please.
That's going to be 18.
Nice. Okay.
Bring it on, stumpies.
Yeah, these stumpy little mouth creatures.
Stumpy little mouth creatures. That's what we're calling them.
Official.
Maybe there's a shorter name.
Stump mouths.
SLMC. Stump.
From the mouth of the maw below come flying up those strange porcupine alligator cross creatures. They flutter up from the depths. There come 3 of them.
Oh,
And they fly up, and Wilhelm, hiding behind the rock, is not concealed from them.
Uh-oh.
And they're all going to continue flying over where the chasm mouth is. And 2 of them are going to fire at Wilhelm, and 2 of them are going to fire at Wrath.
My hiding spot.
Or 2, and then 1 at Wrath. So Wilhelm, I get a 14 and a 13.
Both miss. I press myself against the rocks, and the spines fly into the rocks next to me.
And a 16 and a 13.
One of those hit.
And Wrath, I get a 15 and a 16.
Both hit.
Okay.
Oh, these are the spines of poison, aren't they?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
So that's 10 damage total.
Oh.
For who?
Oh, for 10 damage to Wilhelm, and 15 damage total for the 2 hits to Wrath.
Ow!
I'm going to use...
As the pucker of these spines
Uncanny
being
dodge.
flung off their backs, and then as they collide with you, they melt into an acid.
Ow. What? Excuse you.
And then the maws. They lumber towards Rudy and bite,
Come on, stubbies.
getting a 20 to hit and a 13 to hit.
Yeah. I'll take the hit.
That is going to be 16 points of damage as one lumbers forward and bites deeply into your thigh.
Ow!
Ow! With that,
Nice.
Wrath, it is your turn.
I whisper into the darkness, and I conjure a sphere of blackness as I cast Hunger of Hadar above the chasm, above where the circling creatures are. How tall is the cavern? Like, how tall is the...
This room here is quite a bit taller than the others. It's about 20 feet in height, and then the chimney goes all the way up to the surface.
So if it's 20 feet in height, I want to cast, so then the 20-foot radius kind of fills, or the 20-foot diameter kind of fills, like, right above where the hole is.
Okay, so it fills the hole completely, and then the
Up to
entire side of the
ceiling.
room.
Yeah.
Cool. With Hunger of Hadar, do I roll saves right now, or not till their turn?
They just start taking damage. Or at the start of their turn, they take 2d6.
Okay.
And if it ends its turn, it needs to take a
dark gateway between the stars, infested with unknown horrors, rips open a tear in reality, and whispers of blackness and bitter cold permeate through the room. And Wilhelm, Wilhelm and Rudy are basically at the edge of this effect.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen this before, so like I don't know that you're casting this. I think we're all going to die. I'm just there like pressed against the rock, and this portal between dimensions opens, and there's like space noises happening. Like I don't even know.
And Bruce is eerily calm about the whole situation.
I start screaming.
Imagine his fur like whipping around his face.
So it's
and
going
he's
like
sitting there like very
this, like it's at
serious.
a point in space where it kind of goes all the way up to the ceiling, and sort of tries to fill the space above where.
That's a large orb of evil. We're going to die.
I feel the evil on my
We're
back.
going to die.
Then we're gonna take a few of them with us.
Okay.
And if you are in that area, you're completely blinded.
What else is
So
new?
don't go.
There's a cacophony of soft whispers and slurping noises.
No.
And I go, this is Bruce's home. He comes from here.
I
Bruce
hear
said-
you like through the slurping.
Through-
noise,
and
just,
in
I
your
look over
mind.
and you're just there like
In
this
your
is
mind,
Yeah.
you hear Bruce going, come home.
I am so unsettled.
Okay. Rudy, it is your turn.
Okay. They've riled me up a little bit. So I'm going to start hitting them with my axes. But I'm only going to take 2 shots. Where's Houdini? Houdini's in there somewhere.
Yeah.
He's over there.
I think he was with you. Yeah.
He's there.
Yep.
He's always there.
Chris.
Oh, man.
Uh-oh.
Oh, what does this do? 20 damage.
Wow.
She's back.
Oh, the
Okay.
red dice win.
And the other attacks?
And the other attack is going to be... Oh, that's cock. 13.
That is a hit too.
8 damage.
And
And then my bonus action, I am going to use Second Wind.
okay. With a mighty blow, you send your axe flailing down upon the hailing down upon the flailing creature, slicing off one of its limbs and biting deep into its mouth, almost splitting open its mouth partly. And then the second axe hit comes down upon it as well, and you second wind, but it's these creatures fight on despite the pain and the grievous wounds inflicted upon them. We go to the top with Wilhelm.
Are these flying creatures in this vortex of doom, are they close enough to me for me to try to skewer one with my rapier?
The void, no light, magical or otherwise, can illuminate the area, and creatures fully within the area are blinded, so you can't see them, they can't see you.
In that case, I am freaked out by this crazy void, and I'm going to run over to help Rudy out.
Okay.
And I run over, and the one that she is laying her axes into, I come up and also stab with my rapier.
Stab it.
15 to hit,
You skewer it through.
and I get sneak attack. Oh, there it goes. 18 more damage.
So you come up around the side as you see Rudy step back to take a breath and regain her composure. The creature is coming back towards her, but you run it through before it can leap upon her. The other. Do you want to do anything else?
Turning my gaze to the other, I'm going to attempt to shoot it with a crossbow.
Cool.
Getting a 18 to hit,
Yeah, that's a hit.
doing 6 damage. Or, sorry, 10 damage.
10 damage. Wow, max damage. Okay. It diverts its course from Rudy, leaping across the rocks to bite at you, Wilhelm. Getting a mighty 6 to hit.
I duck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The creatures in the midst of the hunger of Hadar screech, and they take cold damage?
Yeah, 2d6 cold damage.
Okay, roll it.
Oh, baby.
And then what is it? They take a different type of damage at the end of the turn?
If they fail a dex save, they take more. 7.
Okay.
I'll just roll for all 3. That's 7 for all 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alrighty. Fluttering around in the utter black darkness, they fly out, each in different directions. One goes straight forward, one goes straight down, and one goes straight north. So they try to fly out. Does it impair their movement in any way?
No.
No, the area is difficult terrain.
Oh, it is.
And they were... So, with their flying speed, they're impaired by... So, actually,
it is.
So, the one that flies to the south doesn't quite get out of it. But the other two
I
do.
didn't even read that. I mean, I know all and see all. Bruce tells me so.
So, like,
Yeah. Yeah. And so the one that is still in it fails its dex save and takes another 2d6 acid damage. But the other two do escape its effect.
another 9 damage.
Okay. And the others flutter out, and with screeching and squawking, they fire their bolts. One set at Wilhelm, one set at Rudy. Against Wilhelm, the highest I get is a 13.
I duck.
And against Rudy, I get a 20 and a 15.
Shield.
Okay. Woo! The other one doesn't make it outside of the area of Hunger of Hadar and thus cannot shoot at anybody.
Thank goodness. Because I'm already collecting spikes from last time, and I told Bruce I have enough spikes. And I don't think he believes me. I don't want any more.
We need more.
Okay, fine. I'll get one more.
Okay. Wrath, it is over to you.
continuing to concentrate on, I'm gonna try to take a wild shot into the
Okay. Into the
milky-
darkness?
into the
Okay.
milky void.
I'm going to have you shoot with disadvantage.
So I'm gonna try to shoot into it just to see if I can make a connection
Okay.
with the monster in there, and I completely miss. and I can tell. And Bruce goes, fire. And I get a 12, or sorry, 13.
With the darkness, I'm also going to give them cover as well because you can't see them. So it where the bolts just, you hear them crash against rocks behind.
And then I continue to wait at the edge of the.
Kind of boxed yourself in there, buddy. Yep. Okay. Back to Rudy.
Okay. I see the spindly thing beside me, but I'm still gonna take some shots at this Stumpy in front of me. Houdini's still doing his thing. Get in there and help. 26 to hit.
Yeah.
Oh, 5 damage.
Every little bit counts.
Just a light tap with the axe. Second shot.
Crit.
Crits! My dice are on fire! Okay. 13 damage.
Okay.
And the third axe comes down for 21 to hit. 8 damage.
Wilhelm, you see a scene of brutality as Rudy hacks apart this monstrous creature like some sort of wild red-hooded lumberjack trying to take out a stump in a woodland, and there's just pieces of it flying everywhere.
No stump has ever stood up to me.
I guess you stumped him.
You really got to the root of the problem.
Wilhelm, back to you.
So, in all the years of Rudy and I training together, we, without even skipping a beat, as she goes down with the last axe blow, I kind of like somersault over her back, landing on the other side of her and coming down upon this winged creature.
That is flying in the air.
How high is it flying?
They're both on the ceiling.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought it was close to me.
No.
Well, I still do that cool move.
And you shoot in the midair.
As I'm flipping over her back, I fire at the creature in the air.
Cool.
Nice.
Thank you. I get a 12.
That's a miss.
I take a second shot. I fire them. It's just like a psh,
Nice.
hoping to get. That one's going to be a 17.
If the first shot doesn't get them, the second one will.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And no, I'm not close. That's going to be 6 damage.
Okay.
So he's up.
Yeah. So's the other. The two of them flutter forward, and you can see at the far end of this chamber there is a set of. Well, you can see now that you're over here with, and actually the light is a little bit impaired for you, Wilhelm, but it looks like there are some other holes in the ceiling over in the northeastern part of the chamber, and the two creatures fly towards it and exit the room. The third flies out of the hunger of Hadar, taking damage in the process. And it dive bombs into you with a screech.
Hello.
Does it take the
Wrath.
2d6 damage?
It does, yeah.
But it mad now?
Ratha gets a 17 and a 7 to hit.
The 17 hits.
Okay. Another spike explodes into you for 10 damage.
Ow.
And give me a concentration check.
Oh. 21.
Okay, the hunger of Hadar remains in effect. And it is your turn.
I will, the trusty Bruce at my side, I send him up at the, is it it dive bombed me? Like it's
Yeah, it dive bombed you. Like it strafed across you as it flew over.
okay. Is it still like right beside me?
Yeah, it's flying past you. You have to turn around as it does so.
Okay, so I'm gonna turn around and give it just a beat. So that I want to shoot at it as it flies away, and I'm gonna get Bruce to jump up at it. So do I get advantage or does it cancel out? 'Cause
Yep.
It's, okay.
Yep. Woo!
26
That catches it.
for 9 damage,
Nice.
and I'm gonna take another shot at it to try to murder it, and I miss completely.
Okay, it is still going.
And then the Hunger of Hadar twirls into like a circle. It like collapses into like a small circle and poop, and it just disappears. And I whoop, 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 and I run into the room
Okay.
to join my friends.
Rudy, we are over to you.
Try to run over as close as I can.
And I can still see that thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I say, you're not getting away from me. And I take my... Actually, I'm going to firebolt it. Mm. 21?
Nice. Good shot.
Yeah, that was great.
12?
That takes it
Damage?
out. It collapses in a puff of smoke.
And I go on my fingers, like I'm blowing out the smoke.
That looked really cool.
Always gotta
I
have a
missed
little
it.
flare at the end.
It was on the wrong side.
The milky thing like ends, and then you just see this fireball just explode like a flying creature.
That was amazing. That big scary portal to wherever that is.
Yes, was that you?
That was Bruce's cottage.
That was
It's like a summer home. He loves it there.
you are a strange person.
Thank you.
Yeah, teach
You're
me how to
welcome.
do that sometime. Open up that portal, swallow them.
The
critters.
sounds in the darkness. You are as scary as the creatures we face.
He's all right.
The only thing scarier is the things in my mind. I've heard things I can't unhear.
No.
Perhaps we could discuss them over some tea sometime.
I don't think your mind would allow it.
I'm trying to be friends, and it's not working out.
We can be friends, but I just don't think you want to know what I know.
What?
And then Bruce comes to my comfort, and I pet him, and I feel calmer.
I peer into this chasm in the ground, not being able to see more than a few feet. These creatures, they came from in here. This also seems to be where the deer was tossed. Can any of you see down here?
No, but I can send Houdini down to take a look. He's got decent vision. And I send, go on, little guy. And I send him down the crack on the floor. I say, give me a second. And like my eyes roll back in my head and I Houdini vision.
Okay. You send Houdini down the chasm, which extends down 100 feet. As you fly down it, it is almost like this hole is a cavity in the earth. There are deep streaks leaving deposits of this glimmering color all up and down the way. And as it descends further and further down, it then opens at the bottom of this hollowed out cavern, where you can see at the very bottom there is a large bonfire that has been lit. But it is not a bonfire glimmering in red, but rather in octarine light. Across from the bonfire, there is a strange altar that has been set up here. There's a circle of stones, and what look to be someone has taken the bodies and skeletons of and spines of large farm animals, and almost made a tripartite set of pincers with these 3 skeletal bodies around, looming over what looks to be in the middle of it a casket with a human skull on top and a few bones and daisies around it. There is a large door in this room made of stone, and at the center of the altar, and on the altar itself before the skull, is this large glowing purple crystal roughly the size of a fist. As Houdini flies down, there is a sudden glimpse as you see this anguished face appear near the altar. It is attached to the hooded form before you, and there's a glimmer of recognition. This is a familiar face that you've seen in Tearhaven, but rage fills the blue-skinned figure, and it lifts up a javelin and it hurls it towards Houdini, getting a 22 to hit Houdini.
We catch you as you come out of your trance.
And the last thing you hear resounding up of the hall is I said go away! And that's where we'll take our break.
Houdini.
And we are back from our short rest.
I want to give a shout out to Tabletop Audio for providing the music for our intro track. It's fantastic, and you can also increase your game at home with tabletopaudio.com. It's all free, and it's all there for you.
Don't forget to take a look at the links below for our Teespring store, where you can find all of your favorite Dungeon Dudes t-shirts, including Yes, 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 Dungeon Dudes logo, etc. Or you can take a look at bit.ly/Dungeon Dudes merch.
If you're enjoying the stream and you want to help support our work, check us out on Patreon. You can find out how by following the links below or at patreon.com/dungeon_dudes. We also have a phenomenal Discord community, which is exclusive to our patrons, where you can discuss role-playing games, anything Dungeons & Dragons, or really just anything nerdy that you want to come and chat with us about. So check us out on Discord. Check us out on Patreon. We'll see you there.
This episode of Shadows of Drakkenheim has been sponsored by Hero Forge. Our great friends at Hero Forge sent us the miniatures that we are using for our new characters, and it's a bit of a campaign tradition for us to always go to Hero Forge for our minis. If you haven't checked them out before, Hero Forge allows you to design and 3D print a fully customizable miniature for your character, for your favorite tabletop role-playing game. They have tons of customizable options using their online character builder, and then you can order it and get it shipped to your door. They have a Kickstarter campaign running right now to upgrade Hero Forge to Hero Forge 2.0 for options to 3D print your miniature in full color. So you can paint your miniature virtually, have it 3D printed and sent to you. It's ready. You don't even have to paint it, or you can have it professionally painted for you as well. So be sure to head on over to heroforge.com, check out their Kickstarter. If you do want to order a mini from their website, be sure to use the discount code DungeonDudes at checkout to save $5 off your first physical miniature. With that, let us delve back into the shadows. There is a moment of shock as your vision returns back to you, Rudy, after Houdini's sudden slaying. The figure that you saw, that lumpen and misshapen form, was massive and monstrous, vaguely humanoid in shape, though with its cape down for a moment and visible. The face... You've seen that face somewhere before. Not years, but somewhere in Tearhaven you've seen that face. It's hard to place, though, for the brief moment, but it's someone from town. It might be someone from town.
Rudicel, are you okay?
It's Rudy, but... I told you this time and time again. There's someone down there and I know them. I can't place them.
What do you mean you know them?
They're from town. But I didn't get a good enough look to really place it, but something's wrong with them.
The invisible creature in the woods is from town.
think something's happened to someone in town, and we gotta help them.
This just gets stranger and stranger.
What happened to your companion?
A javelin, unfortunately. But Houdini will be fine. I can bring him back. It's the beauty of magic.
You can bring him back?
Yeah. He's familiar.
Necromancy.
Different kind of magic, but
I've studied this.
but I don't have time to do that now. We're gonna have to do this battle without him. But we gotta go in and
Well,
and
we're not
see
going
what's
to
what.
battle them if they're from town.
Well, if you're gonna shoot Houdini in the face, you're right as rain. I'm gonna shoot him down.
I still think that so far what we know is that this creature wants to be left alone, and that it speaks common, and that you recognize it from town. It might want to be left alone because of what's occurred to it. If it was a person from town and it is transformed in some way, perhaps it's embarrassed.
But there are some other things I saw down there.
Rudy, what else did you
A
see?
human skull on an altar, and some of that color, but denser, like a rock. That delirium that you said.
This sounds like
You
your sort
saw-
of voodoo.
A rock? How big?
About the size of my fist.
This is quite disturbing. It's one thing to see speckles or fragments, but an actual piece with these sort of occult altars and faces in the wall, this is very disturbing.
This could be what Gunther was talking about. That stone that got dug up at his farm.
The Academy must be notified as soon as we head back to my tower.
I think we might need some support from them for sure.
There was that other passage that we didn't take. Perhaps it leads down under this room. Either that or we're taking this large, scary hole in the ground, but
Climbing down.
I
Scared to do a little climbing?
I'm not scared to do climbing. I prefer to take the less dangerous approach to save ourselves for battle.
Ah.
By all means, dive in the hole. I'm gonna walk around.
With your dark vision?
You're right.
My friends,
Grab a torch.
my powers are quite drained. Bruce wants to have a quick nap.
Here.
Yes, we can hide. I can hide us. It would be for the best before we continue either into the cave further or down the hole.
I think maybe we'll take it back to a safer part of the cave that we can watch our backs.
That might not be necessary. I'm gonna take some time and start drawing rituals on the ground, pulling out of my book, and start to cast Lehman's tiny hut.
Where do you want to create it?
I want to create it
In this room with the hole, or in another room?
Let's head back into the cave with the manacles and
Okay.
And the half doorway
Door?
and
The door?
broken door.
I can prop it back up on the rock. It's not going to do much.
and I start drawing circles on the ground with like bits and pieces of like fragment, mostly using some of the things out of my chest.
Okay.
To help with the ingredients. And I go, yes, Bruce, there's enough for what we need to do later.
Okay. You create the tiny hut, and a dome of shimmering force springs into being.
We just need a short rest.
We should take turns keeping watch. We don't want this person, I don't know, to leave.
As you step inside the shimmering dome, you can see out of it from within.
Even I can see out of it?
Well, there's no
Did you grab a torch?
there's no light. Although, yeah, you could bring a light source inside, and it wouldn't illuminate. It gets stopped by the walls of the whole thing.
I light a small little bonfire in the middle of the tiny
Okay.
hut so that I can see the room finally.
Sure. Before you start rolling your hit dice, each of you can roll me a d6.
This is the dream.
Oh. 1.
2.
2.
Okay.
This looks...
As you put down, as the dome springs into being a few minutes later, not about 10 minutes later, the porcupine, alligator, bat-like things come slithering into the chamber, and they begin squawking and screeching at the dome. And they start to fire their bolts at it, and when the bolts of their spines deflect off of the surface, they screech and squawk back to each other. And one of them keeps firing its spines until it is almost naked and looks at the thing, the dome, and they scratch at it. And you get a really good look at how disgusting these creatures are with their alligator-like scales, the long spines off their back and their bat-like wings, and their tiny little heads with these massive blinking eyes that glow with a purplish light. They look in, they screech at it, they knock at it, and after about 20 minutes of this, they hiss and leave.
During that time, can I walk up, like, can I walk right to the edge? And I ask you as I'm doing this, I walk right to the edge and I'm like, can they see us?
No. And I'm just calmly, like, I don't even look up. I'm just calmly, like, reading my book.
I open up my book and I start writing and, like, drawing a little picture of them as I, like, follow it around for the 20 minutes, examining it. Does it look natural to me? Like, does it look of, like, a creature of flesh and bone, or does it look like supernatural?
It's made of flesh and bone, but it's nothing that nature conceived.
Interesting.
During this time, about 4 of these creatures survey the dome. At the end of the hour, each of you roll me a d6.
2.
6.
1.
Okay. 6 and a 1. Interesting. At the end of the hour, the creatures are nowhere to be seen in the room.
I've taken extensive notes on these creatures. Rule number 55, write it down. I'm bad at that one, but it's in here.
I would concur.
I don't know what to call them, so I called them alpines.
They were able to
Accurate
get as they exit. They don't exit out the chamber exit. In the northwestern corner of the chamber, they flutter behind several of the stalagmites on the ground that reach up, clamoring and scratching their way past them to some unknown chimney or exit.
Better watch out as we get out of here. They could come back any minute.
Are we taking our short
Yep,
rest?
your short rest is complete.
All right.
Ooh.
Well, I feel much better. A quick little bandage on the shoulder and we're good to go.
Okay. What will you do next, now that your short rest is complete? The dome flickers and fades as you dismiss it. The creatures are nowhere in sight.
You said you recognized the beast down there. I say we go again and try to explain to it that we mean it no harm. If it is a former friend, a former townsfolk, I do believe that it is showing us hostility because it is afraid of its own form. That is my theory.
We can go and talk to it, but if they're too far gone, just like Gunther was, I ain't letting them suffer.
If its head spins around at least once,
I'm taking an axe
Good
to it.
indication.
good indication.
If something comes out of its chest or looks like it's pushing out, I ain't taking no chances.
Also a good indication. I am for that, but I just think right now what we need more than anything is answers. The events that have taken place today are far more horrific than anything we've had to deal with in ever. I mean,
I would say ever in this town, for sure. Like, there's been some strange happenings, but nothing to the extent of monsters and hell portals opening up and...
There seems to be some kind of, I can only surmise, a cult or a following. Maybe bandits used this lair to stash away, and they were quickly
I suppose it's
dispatched.
possible that bandits could have used them. It's weird that we had no sign of them. And where are they now? Well, perhaps eaten or
Maybe.
dead.
Yeah.
I have so many questions and no answers, but there's always a trail to follow.
Maybe we start with investigating
The other passage.
the other passage,
See if it leads back down under the room we were in.
or at least gives us more clues as to what could be lurking
there.
down there. Do we have any other way to ascend the hole?
Other than tying ropes together and lowering us down, I don't see a way. The passage sounds like berries to me.
Let's do it.
Yes.
You can take a look and see, but at
Berries
least we
is
know
good.
there's no
Yes.
alternative. At least we know the way down.
The passage to the south. You go to the south, then to the south again, and it curves and snakes around before ending in a ladder that leads up to the surface where a trapdoor and a blanket have been hidden on top of the hill.
How tall is the ladder?
It's the passageway curves back upwards, and then the ladder, it's only a short distance, about 12 feet to the surface from there.
This didn't lead down at all. I was incorrect in my theory. But the beast, it
was a
went down
working
that
theory.
hole so quickly. We've
It's a beast.
can it climb walls? Maybe.
I'm sure its claws could help it down and up.
Ugh. Well, what do you suggest?
You have a rope?
Yes.
Guess we're climbing down with a rope.
How far was that hole?
How far was the hole?
100 feet.
100 feet.
My rope is 50 feet. There's a problem.
Let's take a look.
Rudy, you said you might recognize this townsfolk.
Mm-hmm.
Other than the Gunther, have there been any other reported missing persons in recent time?
Make a history check.
Can I help her with that? Because I've
Yeah.
been living here for years.
Yeah.
Can I also make the
And I'm
check?
gonna put my hand
You
on
can
her
help her and give her
Help her.
advantage.
Okay, you have advantage.
Yeah, the two of you can discuss it. Yeah.
What was your-
11.
what's your
Can I?
history?
Can I?
Plus one.
Can
Should
I?
take it then?
Guidance?
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm proficient in history.
So as I'm asking,
Well, one of you
this,
can make the check, and she's already rolled
Yeah.
the dice.
and
So-
I'm gonna touch you, and I go, just try to remember.
13.
13.
Keep that in mind.
There's only one that you can think of in the past couple of years. Racking your brain. Must have been maybe 7-8 years ago. It was around the time, not long after Grummelskin died.
Shortly after I showed up.
Yeah.
Around the time Grummelskin, the last wizard that lived at the observatory, died, well, Grummelskin had a sister that lived in town. She'd passed away a few years before, and she had this young boy that used to help Grummelskin out. And, well, his name was Horace, and after Grummelskin died, no one ever saw Horace. There was a few weeks later, no one ever saw him again. around that time as well, maybe thinking about it too. The Tillmans, one of their daughters, she went off as well. People used to say maybe that the two of them had gotten together and ran off someplace and decided to get out of town.
The creature that you saw, was it masculine or feminine?
Masculine?
It was a man.
Oh.
It was a man.
I
Yeah.
say we go back to the hole.
Okay.
What about
Horace was a bit of a simpleton. People used to call him Lumpy.
Lumpy. Oh, I think Lumpy might be down there. I mean, horse.
I have an idea. So, are you telling, kind of like
Yeah.
reminiscing about this? I have an idea. I say that we still talk to it, but now we have information if this is who we say it is. If not, then we're in the same situation.
Yeah.
Uh,
I wonder what he did, but there was a human skull down there too. Who knows? That could have been the Tillman's daughter.
So, Horace or Lumpy?
Don't call him Lumpy.
Okay.
Just in case. You never know how sorry is going to be about being called Lumpy.
He used to work for the former Amethyst Academy mage
He
that
did.
was
This is his
operating
nephew.
there. All right.
Is there any notes that I would have found in the tower after his passing?
Grummelskin did leave behind a bunch of books and notes and things like that. But by the time you arrived, it had been some time since Grummelskin. There were a few years, a gap of a few years. So perhaps
Like it could be in there. I just
it
haven't
could have been in
looked.
there. So someone could have collected it as well. So nothing. There's some records that Grummelskin did leave behind of his time in the town, but most of his personal research was taken.
I'd like to try to talk to the creature.
I think, Wilhelm,
Yes.
you are gifted with finding things.
I'm also very persuasive.
I need you to help me look in the cavern before the hole. There must be some kind of clue.
Before the hole, the one that's
Yeah.
lit. That I
Yeah.
can do.
Yeah.
What are we looking for?
Anything. There must be some signs of when this cavern opened up, what used to be here.
There's a bunch of barrels in this
Mhm.
room. Like, are we all going back to this room?
Yeah.
I want to.
Okay.
And I start looking through all the barrels and all the items here.
As you look through them, almost all of them are barrels and crates and boxes that would have contained food or provisions of some kind. Many of them cured meats or dried fruits. Some of them just containing water. Examining them over, you see the markings of a couple of the trade companies and the traders that are known to traffic through here. And it overall, you recognize some of the things that are trappings or markings or stamps of some of the outlying farms. It's such a hodgepodge collection. It's things that have been clearly stolen from so many different farms and places over probably the span of a couple years.
There's nothing here but trinkets and baubles.
This is good, honest folks. Pieces. Like,
Did anybody report stolen goods?
not to my knowledge.
Maybe he's just been skimming it off the side without many people noticing.
To flip back on that, stuff gets stolen around here all the time.
Yeah. It's not,
Yeah.
Not unnatural for things to go
Like
missing.
there are brigands in the woods. There are caravans that do get attacked, that get ambushed. It happens all the time.
Mm.
Yeah.
With your permission, sir, madam, I'd like to attempt something. A sort of parlay with the beast.
You can talk him down without being violent, then let's do it.
I lean up to the edge of the hole on one knee, and I kind of call down. Horace, we are here with a member of the Amethyst Academy in hopes of reversing the ailment that has befallen you. If you would please come up, we mean you no harm, and we would like to take a look at you to see if we can help. Again, we are here with the new member of the Amethyst Academy who has replaced your former uncle.
Make a persuasion check.
I get a 10.
The voice cries out.
I thought I told you to go away. You wanna yell words at me? You can come on down. And if I don't like the words you have to say, well, then we'll do it my way then.
It's quite a long way down. It would be better if you came up. We're not as nimble or dexterous as you, Horace.
Come down or go forever.
Is there a ladder? If you're bidding us entrance, I'd very much like to know if there's an easier way down so that we may greet you.
When you come down, I promise not to stab you.
Well, that sounds just berries to me. All right.
Just like that little bird.
Now, Horace, you better show some better manners than that. I know your uncle taught you better. You be waiting down there. Don't you dare ambush us. I'm gonna give you a whacking.
Any ideas, Raphael?
I start pulling out rope.
I also have a robe, by the way.
I just start pulling out rope, like, let's come to this.
Who goes down first?
I'll go down first.
I mean, you are the sheriff. Out of the three of us, he would know you best.
Yeah, well, he knew Houdini too and stuck a skewer through him, so I don't know how polite he's
I
willing to be.
apologize.
Rudy,
that I
please.
was unable.
Here's some rope. Tie it together. That should make it down.
I tie the rope together and I tie it around my waist too, going down.
And we'll tie it off to maybe a big piece of rock.
A
Yep.
stalagmite.
Yep.
Stalagmite up
Yeah,
here.
there's enough to tie it off to.
Okay.
All right.
So you go first, and
Yeah.
then
Okay.
I like.
So you got the rope, you got it tied off. Go down, make an athletics check with advantage.
Oh boy.
Um.
All right, muscles. Let's go.
9.
Okay. You slip and stumble down the ropes. Make a dexterity saving throw.
11.
Okay, you're able to catch yourself, but in the process, your axes fall from your waist and clatter down at the bottom of the cavern.
And these are my battle axes.
Yeah. Yeah, you see the rope goes wild and swings across the chimney, and as it clatters, your pack breaks open, and sending a bunch of your possessions, including your axes, down to the bottom.
You okay?
I got more axes. I'll get them on my way down. And I continue to go.
One more athletics check.
Oh. That's better.
Okay. You make it to the bottom.
I pick up my stuff as I go.
Hold,
okay.
Yeah, hold off. These guys are coming down next. Who's next?
I'm going.
I
Okay.
move out of the way.
Please catch me.
Okay. Athletics with advantage.
Rudy.
I ain't catching you. You fall.
Rudy. Bruce will save me. 18.
All right. You managed to make it down without incident. Wilhelm?
Guys, I'm nervous.
Still not catching you if you fall.
That doesn't reassure me.
I'll catch him. Don't worry. He just needs to
My hand's on your back.
know he can do it himself.
I got a 13.
And Wilhelm, you make it down. Okay. The three of you arrive down the rope at the bottom, where there is a large bonfire illuminating the room with octarine light. It casts strange shadows which writhe unnaturally as it hits the various stalactites and stalagmites that dot the floors and ceilings of this room. There is a large altar which has been made of several animal skulls, mostly those of cattle and deer and of the odd horse, arranged in a circle around three large. He's taken three large curving pieces of wood and carved not very well arcane. An attempt has been made to carve arcane runes into these slats of wood that have then been adorned with the full bodies of farm animals, their rib cages draped over them. The center is a stone box with a human skull and several bones and several daisies arranged around it. There's a large door of stone off to the side of the room, torches flanking it. And the rest of the chamber, there's a clatter. Beside the altar is this large glowing shard of delirium and the carcass of the deer. Elsewhere in the room are various possessions and belongings, bits of weapons, spears, other farm implements that can be used as weapons, and a large makeshift bed. Beside it, there is a chest and a stack of spellbooks and papers, several of which are badly damaged and have not been well taken care of. Many of them are open, their pages scattered about, as if someone has been trying to study them ineffectually. They're covered in mud and dirt and dust. Rudy, where your axes are, can't see them, and where this creature was, cannot see it either.
Horace.
You're down here now. What is it that you want?
We want to help you. You are in the presence of a dangerous mineral. It has corrupted you.
I know it's not right, but I didn't mean for any of this to happen.
We know you did not. But there's something bigger happening here. You must let us come in and help you.
Don't need to help me. Can you help my boy?
Where is he, Horace?
He points to the door.
I think he's sick.
So, it's dark, right?
Yeah.
Even in the dark vision, can I see Horace at all?
He is invisible.
Horace, what is beyond that door?
It's my boy. He came, but
you can't see his face. It seems like he might not have the full wherewithal of the presence of mind to explain, but he chokes out the words.
Leah didn't make it. She didn't. I took her to the chapel, but she said there was nothing to do. She said there was nothing that she could do, and then she said I ought to run with her, that no one could know. So I brought her here, and And my boy, he crawled out her belly. And he'd been sick ever since he'd been born. I tried to make him dinner, but I don't think...
How long's he been around?
Oh, couple seasons now, couple winters. And then all the toys started showing up and they started telling me to feed him. And it said they could help me too. And he was talking and he was saying that I needed to go to that farm and bring him that rock, that he needed it, that it would help him.
Who was saying this?
Well, it was the toys that would play with him.
The toys.
Well, my boy, he was sick, but he would make these little toys, like the animals, like pets. All them spiky winged things, and they'd come around, he'd play with them, and he'd make them, he'd put them together, and it told me they were his toys, his playthings, his pets, that they'd keep him safe, and I just needed to make sure there was always dinner for him.
Where are you, Horace? Show me your face.
Make a persuasion check.
12.
No. I didn't want anyone to see me. Didn't want anyone to see what was happening to me. I just kept feeding him and then it kept happening to me. It's strange. It hurts.
Horace, why didn't you come see us in the village? You know we're family.
I did. I came. I came to her and she sent me away.
Who? Who sent you away?
It was the Flamekeeper, Katrin. I came to her. I didn't know what we needed for help, and she said just to go. Take Leah and go.
Just go? She had no right to tell you that.
This Flamekeeper, is she still in the village?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, she is.
Yes.
Horace, we will have words with her after. But now we have to help your son. Does he obey you?
He's always only mean when he's eating.
Has he eaten?
I was gonna feed him. And you feel there's a gesturing towards the carcass.
How about we go in and feed them together?
Right.
Now, boy, you have something in mind. I'd like him back. And hold up my hand.
Make a persuasion check.
15.
No, I don't want you to hurt my boy.
I can take him back on my own.
No, I don't think so. No.
And I call one of my axes back to me as my weapon bond.
Ah, clever.
But only one.
Okay. Does it work if it's in someone else's possession?
I cannot be disarmed of the weapon unless I'm incapacitated, and I can summon it as a bonus action to my hand if it is on the same plane of existence.
Alrighty. You call it back to you.
And I put it away. I say, I'm not here to hurt you, but stealing ain't right. You know that.
Definitely from the sheriff of the town, you realize that you can't disarm the sheriff and take her weapons. You know this, Horace.
We ain't in town.
You're still under our jurisdiction, and we're here to protect you.
The door creaks openward on heavy stone grinding across the cavern floor.
Go. You take a look.
You come show us.
I'm right with you.
Hey, lead the way in.
I follow.
I'm with you. Creeping in.
Beyond the door, it curves forward. The smell that hits you is like nothing else. No smell of this earth. It's not even like the smell of death. It is pure bile and gasoline. This chemical rotting odor that fills your nostrils as you move close to it makes you gag for a moment. The octarine light bounces through this chamber, and as you come around the short bend into the cave beyond, you see before you it's just a horror. It's a writhing mass of infantile limbs, intestines flowing all around, this amorphous mass of flesh and rankness covered in eyes and suckling mouths. Here and there you glimpse a feature of an infant-like hand or a face of a young one or feet or something roughly smacking of human, but the whole is nothing more than a massive writhing pile of flesh, gnashing and clawing at itself.
This is
It is.
your boy.
It looks like it is twice the size of a horse.
What
He's
have
a
you
growing
been
boy.
feeding him?
Full deer. Been eating well.
Guys, I have a bad feeling about this.
And I turn to Horace and I say, what's your boy's name?
I ain't thought about that. I ain't thought about my own name since you heard you say it.
Well, every strapping boy's got to have a good name.
Are you serious?
You got that deer? You brought that deer in for him?
Yeah.
Go ahead and feed him. While we discuss.
Wait. Horace, you said it's only mean when it eats.
Oh, don't feed.
I close the door when it does.
Don't feed it.
Maybe we hold off on dinner.
It screeches and whines and cries all at the same time.
Ugh. Sir Raphael, any suggestions on how we can help here?
It seems to be born of a curse. This thing, I don't think it's much of a person anymore. We
I don't
could
know if it ever was.
get it back to my tower. Maybe we could help it. Horace, we want to help you. We want to help your son.
Tried looking at my uncle's books. I got 'em over there by the bed. The toys kept telling me that if I got the rock, it would help him grow, that he'd get strong again. It would help him, right? The rock will help him, right?
It can. Show me where the rock is.
There by Leah. It's the shard of delirium is resting by the altar.
And that's where the skull is?
Yeah.
Well, you and him leave the room to look at the rock. I turn to Rudy and I'm like, I don't see a situation where this ends well for this boy.
See if Raph has anything that can help him, but this isn't natural.
I want to help Horace, but I mean, if there's no magic that can help us here, then what's our options?
What is Horace revealed himself yet?
Putting it
No.
down.
Okay.
Putting it down's the only option. He's creating things that are killing townsfolk.
Yes, but if we put the boy down, Horace will.
Do you? Yeah. Sorry, Joe.
Is the rock in the same room as his son? The big
No.
flesh?
If you see the layout of the room here, the rock is with the altar where the skull is, and then
in
the
here.
boy is in the other chamber.
Okay. I need to see the books, Horace. Can you show me the books?
The stack of books beside the rough cot topple over.
So he's like going over there to look at them.
Here.
I'm gonna start shifting through them, looking for any signs of like what's going on here? What kind of spells?
There's a series of entries. It's Grummelskin's personal journal. He's been keeping an immaculate record of the events of Tierhaven while he was here. You flip towards the end, the last few entries. There's a few notes and a few pages that have been torn out and put back in. Maybe Lumpy or Horace was trying to look at them. One is a page from 15 years ago, where Grummelskin writes of a farmer, one Gunter Herlick, knocking at his door late at night. And the date is the same date, the day after that meteor hit the town of Drakkenheim. And Herlick told Grummelskin that a piece of a star fell on his farm. Grummelskin writes about how he came and saw the rock, took a few samples of it, and recommended that Gunter Herlick bury the rest until he knew what to make of it. It seems that Grummelskin visited the farm himself a few times over the years to retrieve more pieces for himself and his own work, that he was studying it, trying to imbibe it. And then he comes to one passage where he seems to indicate that, discovering rather early on that it needed to be handled with gloves, for he remarks about how he brought young Lumpy with him to try to help handle it, and that a piece had become embedded in Lumpy's leg and had been festering there unremoved for almost 15 years.
Horace, you assisted Grumbleskin.
My uncle, yeah.
Will you assist me as you did him?
You some kind of mage?
I am. I come from the Amethyst Academy. Me and Grumbleskin both serve. We both serve them, and I have the skills to help your son, but I do not have the knowledge. You need to help me help your son. Can you do that for me?
What do you need me to do?
I need you to take this rock and put it back where you found it.
In the farm?
In the farm.
My boy says the toys say he needs it.
Do
They
you,
told me to go get it.
do you believe your son, who is infected, who is hurt by this?
No, he ain't hurt. He's just a little sick. He knows. He's just a little sick. He can get better. He knows.
Grumbleskin.
Are you trying to steal it from me?
No, it is too dangerous to be held.
I know.
Grumbleskin says that it infected you. Is this true?
It was an accident. I didn't mean to. I'm not sick anymore. It made me better.
Do you feel better?
No.
Do you trust me?
No.
Do you trust your son? Do you believe that Grumbleskin could have helped you?
He died.
How did he die?
One day he just didn't wake up.
Where was he?
In the tower. Leah helped me. Leah took care of me. I could trust Leah. But then she got sick too. She said we had to go to the Flamekeeper. She said she was going to have a child. The Flamekeeper sent us away. We had to come here, and she died
Where did she die?
here.
Is that her body? And I gesture to the...
Yeah,
Did you make this altar?
yeah, it's a grave.
Who told you to make it?
No one, I did it.
It's a very intricate. Did you carve these runes yourself?
Yeah,
Why did you choose these runes?
I don't know, it just felt right.
Interesting. Did you learn them from Grumbleskin?
I think I saw him maybe in one of his books.
Can you show me which book?
He knocks over one of the spell books.
I'm gonna grab it. Start sifting through it again.
Yeah, there's a fair number of spells in here that could summon demons, or, Grumbleskin was pretty into the old summoning thing.
No. But I was the bad one. I mean, I don't say that out loud or anything.
We're still in the other room with this smelly mass of horribleness.
Yes, Bruce, this is quite concerning. Grumbleskin, I think it's important that you help us.
Grumbleskin's dead.
I mean, pardon,
Horace.
Horace, it's of vital importance that you show me the wound you suffered 15 years ago. It could help understand how to reverse what's happened to your son. I'm here to help you.
Make a persuasion check.
18. Or sorry. Yeah, 18.
He appears. He is massive. Almost 12 feet tall, rippling with muscle. He's got a large face and a massive nose and big pronounced chin. Big belly, kind of rippling, but muscle all rippling along his arms. He's wearing rags that has sashed together, but he's got wrappings around both of his legs. And he sits down on one of the bits of rock in the chamber and unwraps his leg. His skin is a purpley blue color. And as he unwraps his leg, there's glowing, octarine glow going all up his blood veins from his leg, as at the base of his foot, wrapped up around, and underneath the skin now, and by the quick look of it, perhaps even fused into the bone, is a small fragment of delirium. and the whole leg has turned almost octarine, and the octarine goes up the blood vessels, which are enlarged in the leg. It gives him a very pronounced limp when he walks, and the other foot in the lower part of the limb is almost like more elephantine than a human foot now.
And he's about the same height. Is he? How tall is he?
He's about 12 feet tall.
Wow.
Yeah, whatever this has done to him has caused him to grow to massive proportions. He was a big kid, but he is big.
Horace, does it hurt?
All time.
Is there anything you do to remedy the pain?
Sometimes when I kill them animals, it feels okay.
That's super unsettling. Horace, you want to help your son. Would you do anything for him?
I love him. He's my boy.
You want to help him? Do you want to save him?
More than anything.
You need to return the rock to the shed where you found it buried. And I'm going to cast Suggestion.
Okay.
It's DC 16.
Wisdom?
Wisdom.
I get a 15.
Yay.
All right. I will. And he goes and he picks up the shard with his bare hands, steps at the base of the chasm, looks in his own self, and he begins to fly and lifts himself up the chasm and flies out. And he walks away. And then
I'm going to go back into the room and go,
And you walk in, and me and Rudy are just like, what do you mean we have to kill the kid? Are you sure?
Of course.
What about...
Not even a kid.
Horace is returning the rock.
So he's
shard
not...
of
That's
Desirium.
good.
So he's not
Did you
here
get my
right now?
axe?
No.
Did he take it with him?
He might still have it. He has it, right?
Yeah.
Does he have it?
Oh, no.
This might be our chance to either deal with his son, or at least we've removed Horace from the situation.
Question. Can you happen to cause a cave-in?
How sturdy does the overall...
you need some bombs. You need some explosives.
Do you have any magic?
The challenge
help.
would be Horace is quite the creature. He is about 12 feet in height and of massive strength, and he can fly for some reason.
Wait,
And
he
it's
can
very
fly?
unsafe. He can fly. He can fly. He can fly.
Why was he walking around the woods if he could...
It's unsettling to say the least, but we must move quickly.
There's no way that we kill this child, I'm going to call it.
The most important thing is to not think of it like a child, but to think of it like a mound of flesh. It will be much easier to stab it and shoot it with arrows as you do, Wilhelm.
But then there'll be evidence. Evidence. You need to not be crushed by that 12-foot creature up there.
There's no way we get out of this without Horace being horribly upset with us.
Yes.
That's what I mean by cave-in.
He's currently returning the rock to where he found it. He believes it will help.
Sir, Raphael,
Yes.
honest question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think there's a chance to save Horace?
No. This rock, it's something the Academy warned me about. The Grumbleskin had been keeping a diary of the happenings, and do you know of the event 15 years ago in the city of Drakkenheim?
Well, everybody knows. It started all of this. It started the Civil War. It started... Westamar changed forever. If you don't know about it, you know about it.
Of course I do.
So
All these rumors and tales about this star that fell from the sky, but what's that got to do with Deerhaven?
a piece landed in the fields where we found the shed. It slowly corrupted Gunther, and it embedded itself in Lumpy's leg. So we know that this is only going to cause evil.
But he's still Horus.
He is an abomination of what he used to be. I believe it. That he needs to die.
He's deformed, yes, but he's...
Could the Academy have anything that they could help him out with? Could we send him to the Academy and have them look into it?
I've heard of treatments that can potentially ease the passing, the pain that they live in. However, I have not heard of anything that could reverse what's happened to him.
It sounds like someone else has been in this situation before. Could they not use Horus to potentially find a cure?
Maybe, but I believe the risk to be too great.
I'm having a hard time only because I'm a hunter. I hunt beasts. I've hunted beasts my whole life. I never fought in any wars. To me, this is still a man. A monstrous man, but a man nonetheless. And I've never stricken a man down.
Lucky you haven't had to experience that.
And I vow to protect the innocent, and he's an innocent.
Is he? He
A little bit of
attacks
stealing.
The wagons he's killed. How many creatures? We only know of the ones that he has killed.
He kills forest creatures. So do we. We hunt for food, and
Wasn't one of your hunters injured recently?
we don't know if it was by Horus. But what conclusive evidence do you have?
Do I remember what happened to his friend in terms of what actually injuries were?
He said it was like something came out of nowhere.
We don't know that it wasn't him.
Like something came out of nowhere?
That's what my boy said.
We should, while Horus is returning the rock, we should investigate his room. I will retrieve Grumbleskin's diaries. We should look for any clues.
What about this thing? Over here. This smelly mound of flesh.
It seems to be under control for the moment.
How long is it going to take for Horus to get back?
I do not know.
You reckon?
It'll probably take him about an hour to get back to the farm, but by then he'll return the rock and your spell will have expired. Our suggestion lasts up to an hour or up to 8 hours.
It just kind of does it up to 8 hours.
Okay, so yeah, as long as you're concentrating on it, he'll continue and then complete the task and come back.
Yeah.
So he'll probably be gone for at least an hour, if not 2, as long as you continue concentrating on the spell.
Do we need to put down this thing? This thing's, it's been making those other things that keep shooting spines at us and
That's
biting
where
us.
that's where I have an issue, because who knows who could be caught next in their
That's-
trouble.
Unlike Horus, who is still a sentient humanoid creature, this is a squealing mound of flesh creating monsters.
But you think Horus is gonna let us just put him down?
No, but if we can perhaps justify that he murdered your boy's friend, then maybe by the law we could put him down.
I'm going to
If-
start looking for human
if it
remains
has to
that
be
go
that way.
beyond Leah's in the other room.
Oh, there definitely are.
Human
Well,
remains.
that was easy.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
He has gone too far.
What
He's
about his
hurting
personal
people.
effects? Does he have anything in here like? Does he have any like trinkets or?
Yeah. The vast majority of the remains are animal, but there are a few human, other bits of human remains in the midst.
Unacceptable.
I worry that Horace is too far gone for our help. There might be those more powerful than myself who could do more for him. However, whether we can convince him or not to leave his son, leave this cave, he appears to be a danger to the immediate community. I think we need to extinguish his flame.
I think it's the many over the few at this point. Unfortunately, we have to think about the other members of this community. If they're going to get harmed, if they're going to get brought into this, I need to protect them as sheriff. What say you, Wilhelm?
Well, rule number 77, never use your skills against the innocent. And rule number 78, always use your skills to protect the innocent. In this case, by seeing these human remains here, it seems that Horace is not innocent. And these people he murdered were. I am okay with this course of action.
All
Is
right.
the flames, have they returned to normal, or are they still flickering like a
They're still flickering.
weird
Yep.
magic? Ugh, boy.
There's a magical bonfire here.
Is there any other signs of like delirium in the room other than the big shard that left?
Other than the big shard, there's the presence of magic here is tangible. The other presence of delirium is walking around inside Horace's leg.
I want to touch the altar and cast Identify as a ritual.
Mhm.
Is it magical? Did he just wing it, or did he put something together?
What is here is unequivocally an amateur's failure. There is the residuals of magic in here, but it lacks a focus that it would have had with that piece of delirium. So while what he was doing was wild and unpredictable, with a shard of delirium in the mix, he could have done something really bad.
We need to shut this whole operation down.
We can wait for Horace to return, and we can deal with him, and then his son.
I think we deal with his son now while he's away.
Do the sun? Wow. He's out.
Agreed.
Now, the question is, do we cause a cave-in, or do we just straight up go hacking?
Well, the problem is we can't fly, so when we cause a cave-in, we still have to climb out of here. Do you just mean in that room?
In that room.
Oh,
Just in that room. The ceiling falls down. It's
Like, are
not
you
good
trying to-
carpentry, you
Can
know?
Rudy, are you slowly trying to remove yourself from the immediate hand of fate that deals the killing blow to this creature?
I mean, I'm no stranger to dealing killer blows,
I know that.
but
Would it help you rest
I
easier to know that it
think
is?
that if he goes in and he sees that his son was murdered, he's going to automatically think it was us. Where if there just happens to be rocks that fall from the ceiling,
it couldn't have possibly been the three strangers who wandered into his home and
you never
he
know
left with his son.
when dangerous caves happen like that. So,
The question is, do we have the means to cause such...
I wish I had, but it is
No
beyond my
explosions.
capabilities.
If,
no boom.
if we're putting Horace down as well, then it really doesn't matter what he thinks of what we do to his son. Now does it?
All right,
Um,
let's go murder this thing.
let's go murder his son.
Pull out my rapier. Clean the
I don't
blood
feel
off
great
of
about
it.
this, but I have one of my what is it? One of my battle axes. The other has to be a hand axe, I guess.
Okay.
This doesn't feel great, but it is a necessary step.
Roll for initiative. Place your fingers there, anywhere in that. There he is. On the nest. Yeah.
On the nest.
Our figures are over there, I think.
No.
Okay.
Zowie.
Rudy?
14.
20.
Yep.
And also 20. But Wilhelm can go first.
I accept.
Okay. Alrighty. As you enter back into the room and open the door without its father present, the creature is thrashing about wildly and it howls out from multiple mouths. Wilhelm, you are first to act.
I won't lie, I feel much better about this. This thing is horrifying. And I charge forward and
As you do, you are hit with the wall of its smell. Make a Constitution saving throw.
You've never smelled like this before.
I get a 4.
You are poisoned.
Oh.
Feel like you might retch.
You run up.
Yeah, I start I throw up in my mouth a little bit.
Yeah. So that gives you disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls.
That is unfortunate. There goes my sneak attack. So as I'm going to land the perfect shot,
You kind of throw up a little
I
in your
throw
mouth.
up a little in my mouth, and I 12.
That is a miss. You go to stab, and its outer hide, all this fleshy mass, is like stabbing steel.
I reel back and clamber backwards against the wall next to Rudy, and you try.
Wrath, it's your turn.
I'm going to just start hurling bolts of energy at it.
Okay.
Of force. 18
That's a hit.
and 17
Both hit.
for 22 damage total.
Nice. Alrighty.
I don't feel good about this.
Rudy.
So you gotta do it like this. And I go towards this smelly creature. What do I roll?
Roll a Constitution saving throw.
21.
Okay, you love it. You love it. Rudy's
Holding-
changed diapers. Let me tell you that smell.
Listen, you ever change a shifter baby's diapers? You don't want to go in.
Yeah,
There's
you know what they eat?
normally a couple of them at a time. Some are potty trained. It's just,
Are you saying this while you're talking? You're
Explaining
like,
this?
see, when you change enough time,
mad? Okay, I take my battle axe.
She's used to it now.
25 to hit.
A hit. Do you want to resolve all the hits, then roll all the
Okay,
damage
cool.
together? Yeah.
And
A crit.
Wow! On fire tonight.
And then 11.
That's a miss. So one hit, one crit, and a miss. Not bad.
Okay. What? 12 on the first, and then because I'm using my hand axe for the second, it's
The first two attacks are always made with your primary hand. The third is the bonus action.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah.
So then, 14. For the second.
So 11 and 14?
Yeah.
It's 25 total.
Nice.
Nice. The child globbers back and sends out a trail of bile in a line. Are the three of you in a straight line?
Yep.
Almost. for
All
the most
right, you
part.
can all make dexterity saving throws.
Ah!
9.
26.
17.
Okay. You two succeed. You fail. Rudy, you take 27 points of acid damage. The other two of you take 13 each. And I need a concentration check on suggestion.
And you said it was acid?
Yes.
Can I use my reaction to absorb elements?
Yes, you can.
I got a 6.
Okay, so your concentration on suggestion has ended.
Uh-oh.
Somewhere further away, Horace has a sudden moment of realization.
Uh-oh.
Do you know this?
Yeah, do I realize it? Horace is going to be returning soon with a giant shard of delirium that lets him fly.
That's a problem.
Resistance.
So
We
it's
should
half
dispatch
damage,
his
so you
son
only take
quickly.
13. Yep.
Oh.
Okay. Wilhelm, it is your turn.
I tried as well. I hold my breath. Actually, you know what? I'm slumped up against the wall. I'm like, I'm staying back here, and I'm going to shoot it with my crossbow.
Okay.
I get an 11. There we go. I get a 26.
That is a hit. Yeah. And you are only poisoned until the child's next turn, so you're no longer poisoned. As long as
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
I do. 7 damage.
You do get sneak
Oh,
attack because
sneak
Rudy's beside it. Yep.
Oh, yes. 18 damage.
Total?
Yes.
Nice. Shot blares out and a small eyeball pops, sending a burst of acid everywhere. Wrath, you're up.
I'm going to continue to pelt it with magical energy. I get a total miss and like a 22 for 8 damage.
Cool.
We must plan our...
Escape?
yes.
But we're not going to kill it.
And Horace will return soon.
You go distract him if
Okay.
he's coming. We're going to finish up in here.
Rudy, it's your turn.
Continue to take all the hits.
And now your attacks deal acid damage because you absorbed elements. So your attacks deal an extra d6 acid damage.
Yes.
On hit.
10.
That is a miss. Bounces off its knobbly hide.
17.
A hit.
So that's,
And an extra d6 acid, which itself is not immune to.
9 regular damage and 6 acid damage.
Okay.
And then last shot with my hand axe. Ooh, 25.
A hit.
10 damage.
Cool.
Chop, chop, chop,
We're
Okay.
running out of time, Rudy. Chop, chop.
Rudy. Its amorphous mass slouches past you in protopian with it's almost like primordial ooze as it slithers past in this way, interposing itself between yourself and Wilhelm,
Ooh.
and it attacks both of you,
Ooh.
getting a
Uh-oh.
critical hit against Rudy
Oh, no.
and an 11 against Wilhelm.
I dodge. I
Rudy, you
cartwheel out of the
take
way.
20 points of bludgeoning damage. And you are engulfed by it. It draws you in. The tendrils, small limbs, legs pulling you into its mass, and you are grappled, and you are now blinded and restrained and unable to breathe.
Rudy?
Rudy!
Raphael, you have to get her out of there.
Yes, the fastest way to get it out is to blow it up.
Wilhelm, it's your turn.
Continue stabbing, Wilhelm.
What if I stab her? Did I see where she kind of got like sucked?
You can see like she's getting pulled inside it.
I try to stab in a direction that won't injure
Okay.
Rudy.
Yep.
I crit miss.
Okay.
As my blade gets like stuck in it and like doesn't hurt it, I take out my crossbow and I fire
And I
at
say,
point blank range. The bolt sticks on it as well, but doesn't pierce the skin. And I pull my blade out.
As you stab in, Rudy, you feel the side of Wilhelm's rapier, the cold steel just go right beside your cheek.
And I pull back and kind of go behind Raphael and lean up against the wall again. And I'm like, I can't hurt this thing. Use your magic.
Keep stabbing.
I'm trying.
We can kill
I
him.
may have just stabbed Rudy. I'm not sure. Rudy, are you okay? I don't think she's okay.
I know.
Wrath, it's your turn.
I'm gonna continue pelting it. This time, Bruce is gonna get involved. I did not know it was this powerful. Like a 26.
Oh, you're close enough to it now though that you need to roll to smell it.
Oh. I get a 10.
You fail, so you're poisoned.
Ah!
So that first shot has disadvantage, which cancels out from Bruce, so it's just straight normal.
21.
That's a hit, and the second shot then has disadvantage.
Oh, miss.
Okay, the 21 hits though.
14 damage.
Alrighty, it's still kicking.
Oh.
Rudy,
All right. So can I can break out of it using a strength?
yes. So you are suffocating. You can hold your breath you can because you got engulfed. You can survive for a number of rounds equal to your Constitution modifier before dropping to 0 hit points because you were unexpectedly pulled into a situation where you could not breathe.
So this is round number 1.
Cool.
Yeah.
And so I can try to get out?
Yep.
Okay. What do I roll?
You have to escape its grasp. You can roll athletics or acrobatics.
Athletics. 27.
You claw your way out and push your way out. You are covered in protoplasmic goo.
That's my action, right?
Yeah, that's
I'm
right.
gonna action surge.
Yeah.
And then take 2 shots at it using my axes.
Okay.
Rude. 17.
That is a hit.
6 damage, and for the offhand, 25 to hit.
A hit.
8 damage.
Okay. It's still kicking,
I'm alright.
Oh my gosh.
and
I'm wavering a little
it
bit.
grasps out towards both you and Wrath now,
Ah!
trying to draw you back in. So Rudy, I get an 18 against you, and Wrath, I get a 20 against you.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, that hits.
Okay, so both of you are hit. And Wrath, you take 13 points of damage, and Rudy, you take 14 points of damage.
I am dead.
Okay,
No!
Rudy, you are being drawn into the creature again.
I fainted.
And so are you, Wrath. Both being absorbed by it.
Well,
Is it my turn?
It is your turn, Wilhelm.
I look down at my blade and I'm like, oh gods, this better work this time. And I'm going to run at the beast.
Okay, roll to resist the smell.
Yep. I got a 14.
You succeed!
Yes.
Grit it!
And I pierce the beast. 16.
That is a hit.
All right. I'm going to use sneak attack.
I'm right beside him. I'm
They're
him.
inside it. So effectively, this is the swashbuckler condition where it's no one else. Like, I'm going to rule that no one else is effectively beside it because it's absorbing them into
Yeah.
its body.
Big money, big money, big money.
18 damage.
You stab deeply into it, and there's a moment where its muscles relax, and it just dribbles down into a pile of primordial goo, leaving behind only Rudy and Wrath as they're choking and covered in the goo of this creature.
I hoist Rudy up, and I take one of her... Do you have any healing potions?
I have one, yeah.
I take the healing potion off her belt and pour it down her throat and like kind of smack her awake. Snap out of it.
That was not great.
Somewhere in
fought
the
bravely.
wilderness, a father screams out, knowing that his child has died. And that is where we're going to end tonight.
Uh-oh.
Oh boy. Oh horse. We did not make
He
friends.
is not going to like what we did to his child.
That wraps it up for this evening. Thank you so much to our cast, Kelly, Jill, and Joe, for playing.
And a huge thank you to Kyle for keeping everything running behind the scenes. Great job.
Yay!
Yeah.
Woo!
Thanks, Kyle.
And always a big shout out to Tabletop Audio, especially for their contribution to our intro music. Please check it out at tabletopaudio.com. It's all free, and it is a great way to elevate your games at home.
Don't forget to take a look at the links below for our Teespring store, where you can check out all your favorite Dungeon Dudes t-shirts, or you can take a look at the link bit.ly/Dungeon Dudes merch.
If you are enjoying the stream and want to help support our work, please check us out on Patreon. You can find it by following the links below or at patreon.com/dungeon_dudes.
Also, make sure to join our phenomenal Discord community that is exclusive for our patrons. You can chat with all of us on there about anything you'd like, about what's going on in Shadows of Drakkenheim, or any other D&D things that you have to talk about, or just come hang out.
Kelly and I post new videos every Thursday where we cover everything Dungeons & Dragons on our YouTube channel, including advice for Dungeon Masters and guides for players. Just a small note, normally you can join us every Tuesday when we record the campaign live on Twitch, but next Tuesday we are taking the week off due to some work conflicts. Sad. So we will be taking the week off there, but we will be back on February 4th. So an extra week from now at 6 p.m. here on Twitch with the show rolling out live. And of course, you can always check us out as well on major podcast platforms too. We have a podcast version of Drakkenheim out on Apple Play, Google, the Apple Podcast, Google Play, and Spotify as well. So there's lots of ways to enjoy both this season and season 1 of Drakkenheim if you haven't caught up all the way yet.
Oh, yeah.
That, I think it's just thank yous.
Yeah. Well,
Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time in the Shadows of Drakkenheim.